and have a seat. We'll get our meeting started here in just a moment. We have a big agenda. Yeah. We're not here. She just professorship from degree from
I guess I'm sitting next to you. You are certainly welcome.
One door on the northern.
September, all the way up to
well, prior to district governor,
hello, how are you? All right, we're I know, and so that.
oh, no.
Right.
Oh, yeah. We have to down.
Oh, for you. For you.
Like a guy.
No, far from us here. Far from us.
Okay, it looks like we have everybody getting situated here. So welcome everybody on this very warm day. Just so you know, it's going to get warmer in the future. Ooh, 18 degrees below zero. That just sounds ominous. And let alone the wind chill, whatever that's going to be. So today is actually warm in comparison to what's coming. So this month, just as a reminder, is Peace Building and Conflict Prevention Month. And as you know, Stephanie wants us to celebrate the magic of Rotary this year. Randy is going to help us with the four-way test today.
Test first. Is it the truth? Second, fair to all concerned.
Beneficial for all concerned.
Is it fun?
And before you sit down, we could do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome Sue to join me. She's going to do the reflection today.
With Valentine's Day being tomorrow, let's take a moment to reflect on the connection between love and service that Rotary provides. Valentine's Day is traditionally a celebration of love. Love for our partners, our families, and for our friends. But as Rotarians, we understand that love extends far beyond romantic gestures. Love at its core is about selflessness, kindness, and a deep commitment to making the world a better place. Rotary's motto, service above self, is really love in action. Every time we extend a hand to those in need, support a community project, or work towards peace and goodwill, we demonstrate the kind of love that sees beyond differences, that uplifts the downtrodden, and that fosters hope wherever it's needed most. This Valentine's season, let's celebrate not just with chocolates and roses, although I'd like a lot of those, but with acts of service, words of encouragement, and hearts open to giving. May we continue to show love in the way we listen, the way we serve, the way we build, where kindness prevails. So happy early Valentine's Day, everyone, and be proud that you're a Rotarian.
Thank you. So I would now like to introduce Marjorie Corning. Marjorie is the District 5960 Rotary Foundation Chair. So Marjorie, I will give you the floor.
Things written out so I don't get off track. I want to make sure that we honor Dave and his wife Cheryl in a really, really generous way of showing gratitude for what the two of you have done. So as you probably remember, our past Rotary president, Jennifer Jones, charged us to imagine a world that deserves our best, where every single day we get up knowing that we can make a difference. Well, with a Rotarian like Dave and his wife Cheryl in our midst, Cheryl's right here. She wanted to be here, but she had to teach her children. Well, at any rate, both Dave and Cheryl, we don't have to imagine because they're living proof of individuals making a difference. So Dave and Cheryl, on behalf of the Rotary Foundation and District 5960, please accept our gratitude for your above and beyond financial support to the Rotary Foundation as major donors. As major donors level 1, you've given of your treasures. So much good begins with that generosity. You give to others not knowing their stories, not knowing their faces, and not hearing their voices. You give to that out of generosity, but in doing so, you really are acting generously to fellow human beings that every one of us deserves compassion. So your acts of kindness are a seed of peace. And you know how we all like, let's do peace in the world, make it visible. So your acts of kindness are definitely seeds of peace that will yield returns for not only the community served by your generosity, those right here, but also from Rotary as a premier, heard that word, premier, foundation and organization. But more importantly, Dave, you have given of your talents as well. And as president of the, as Judy O'Fallon would say, the Rotary Rochester, the Rotary Club of Rochester, she always had to correct us. Anyway, but you are definitely leading by example, and great leaders, as we all know, lead by example. So your gifts inspire others to give, not just of their treasure, but of their time and their talent as well. So in recognition of your investment, and it truly is an investment because it goes on and on, the Rotary Foundations has wonderful programs that, I'm a I'm a grants person, and if you know me, I love grants and the good we can do with them, and your club has done some wonderful things, including the most recent one, the Tanzanian Water Grant. So, at any rate, I'd like to present this crystal and the pins. And truly, truly, we all need to clap and say thank you, because it's Rotarians like Dave and Cheryl who are definitely sharing the magic of Rotary. So, and this, if you get a chance, look at this crystal. Every day when you look at it, I want you to see those doves of peace and remember every donation you've given over the years have made a difference and added a positive piece, because anytime we can eliminate a need, we're adding the positive piece. So thank you. This it's just really very meaningful to me anyway. But like, all the doves of peace.
Mhm.
They're not- You'll wipe off all the fingerprints after.
I was gonna pass.
Yeah,
You don't know Ashok.
Yeah.
Ashok is our picture master.
I do know Ashok. I've met him over the years, but they also get a special pin in recognition. It has one, it's not a diamond, it's a fake, crystal type thing. But, you want to put that on? The trick is to get it out of the box. If we can do that, we're in good shape. And, those of you, we talked about, it's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day and the district's got to share the love. And what better way to share the love than by donating to the Rotary Foundation? It does not matter how much you give, because every dollar you give goes to serve humanity. And I think all of us are in that in one. We all have things that we love: water, maternal child health, disease prevention, right, Ashok? And all those good things that we do. So there's just such a huge variety. And I always say there is no other charitable organization where each and every one of you in the room can come up with an idea and get money for funding for it. So it can be significant. So thank you. Awesome.
Thank you, Margie. And as we go forward today, I'll be giving an annual report. And during that report, I'll tell you a little bit more about Paul Harris, the Paul Harris Society, the major donor levels, and also benefactor levels. Our club has done a very impressive job. I looked at some numbers, and Marjorie, maybe you can help me with this. But one flashed out at me, and I'm not sure of the reality. But it appears as though over the years, and our club has been going since 1925, I think our club has given over $1 million to the Rotary Foundation. So that is very, very impressive. And we have a number of major donors in this room, and we'll continue to recognize those individuals as we move forward. So thanks again, Marjorie.
Because literally, we could not, and I mean collectively, each and every one of us in the room was a Rotarian. We couldn't do this without funding. That's why Rotary is known.
And those gifts just multiply and benefit people going forward. I'm going to also talk a little bit more about our community foundation and the benefits that's been providing. We'll take a moment, Mr. Allen, for happy thoughts today.
I'll start out, John, then I give you an extra $1 back there. So my happy thought is, oh, you gave it to George? Okay. No, my happy thought is my mom is doing better. George is here today, my father, and we're thrilled that he's back in the apartment. So that's a happy thought. I'm happy about that. Anybody over here, Marilyn?
Okay, it is my granddaughter's 60th, a week from tomorrow, so happy birthday to Addie.
I've been gone for 6 weeks, so I'm gonna put in, $20. Gonna get $14 back.
Thank you.
A lot of fun.
Tasha? Saw a dollar bill over here. Where'd it go?
I gave John the extra dollar, just to say thanks for, supporting Rotary Foundation, Marjorie, for coming, and, looking for just a nice prayer to have a safe trip to Istanbul for the Rotary Presidential Peace Conference next week.
Thank you, sir. As I'm moving behind you, anyone else on this side over here? Mark?
Yesterday marked my 1-year anniversary at the Diocese of Winona Rochester. And it was that organization that brought me down here, and grateful to join this great group here.
That's 1 year. One over here? Someone over here?
Yes, my youngest granddaughter, Ellie, good people are named Ellie, or Allie. She lives in Bangkok, Thailand. We just found out she has the lead in her school play. At age 5, she's going to play Moana, and so we'll get to see it on video.
Excellent. I hear John coming forward here.
We had, 10 Rotarians give $20 for their lunch and said put the extra dollar in. Here's $10 for 10 Rotarians.
We trust you. Anyone else? Notice I'm pulling the money away from John. Okay, I get it. All right, thank you.
I have to count it. Everybody got
There
more.
you go. One more happy thought. With all of this cold weather, I had the privilege of maintaining our koi pond and maintaining the hole in the koi pond. So I'm very happy today that the hole is still open, because if it closes, we could lose 60 fish. But as you know, with this weather, it's been a real challenge. We even have a floating heater, and it's like this big and then down to this big, and I break it open to this big and it goes down, but it's still there. So I'm very happy that our fish are still doing well. So I want to take a moment to congratulate one of our Rotarians. And this Rotarian is not in the room, but I believe she is online. Let's see if we can, yeah, that one. So Marilyn, I don't know if you're able to turn on your audio and video. If you are, we'll bring your face on screen.
Maybe not.
Well, I know she's online, so hopefully she can hear me. I want to congratulate Marilyn Stewart on receiving an honorary doctorate from the University of Minnesota Rochester. And this was probably years in the making, because as all of you know that know Marilyn, she worked countless years, like 20 years, on the establishment of a 4-year college in Rochester, resulting with the establishment of the University of Minnesota Rochester. And I just want to congratulate her on receiving that honorary doctorate. That is huge and well-deserved for all the work that she had done. So, Marilyn, I hope you can hear me. I see you're online, but congratulations. So, thank you. Birthdays. So Karen, just yesterday, happy birthday. And then we had Chuck and Diane will be February 23rd week is our next.
Yes.
27th, yeah. But either way, we'll recognize Diane at that time. Also, we have a number of anniversaries. Allie, 28 years. Congratulations. Audrey Betcher, Joseph for 16 years, and Tamsin for 9 years. So congratulations to all of you on your anniversaries. We are continuing to collect for our contribution to the Rochester Grants Committee. As you can see, we're better than halfway through to our goal of $3,000. We've raised $1,850, and later on in the meeting, I'm going to tell you a little more about where those dollars have been going. The Rochester Grants Committee continues to do wonderful things for us. We have a number of announcements to cover. The 100th anniversary planning continues. Again, it's on May 15th. We recently had sponsorship opportunities that were out on your table. If your company is interested in being a sponsor for this event, please let Vicki Allen know. Channel 1 volunteering on a monthly basis on the 4th Monday of each month. The Rotary Making Peace Visible Conference is May 2nd through the 3rd. I encourage you to sign up. We want to have a strong showing at that event. For 2025, the Jeremiah Cook for Kids dates that we have coming up yet are May 20th and September 16th. And then we have the C2C Education Summit fundraiser at Victoria's on March 23rd and Sorelina's on April 27th. That March 23rd date is going to come up quickly. So Marilyn, do you want to take a quick moment and discuss this a little further?
I would love to. So I'm really excited that we're going to be kicking off this new fundraising opportunity for Cradle to Career for their education summit that is every October. And Victoria's is so generous in that when they do these fundraisers, they give 25% of what they bring in earnings for that day, as long as the people who come tell them that they're there because of the fundraiser. So that's very important. So just 5 weeks from Sunday is going to be the one at Victoria's. And if any of you have eaten at Victoria's, you know that they have wonderful, wonderful food and great buns. Just love their buns. But there's a number of ways that you can contribute to this. One is by, of course, coming out to eat that day at Victoria's. And they also do this promotion for takeout. So if you just even wanted to call in and get takeout for your family that day and mention the fundraiser, that will also count, which is great. So the other way to help out is that Victoria's is actually going to allow us to have volunteers at the door to hand out these flyers. And there's a number of these at your table. So Shearston is going to be putting a sign-up sheet on Club Runner, much like for the Salvation Army bell ringing. And there's going to be 5 slots starting at 10:30 in the morning through 8:30 at night. And so if we could get 2 volunteers for each slot to hand these cards out at the door and tell people as they come in to be sure to mention the fundraiser, it will add to, to our numbers. So the other way is through social media. We are going to put this out on the Rotary Club of Rochester's Facebook page. Victoria's also puts it out on their Facebook page. So if you're not following TRCR yet, please follow that and share the Facebook page with all your friends on Facebook. So, and lastly, just to spread the word the good old fashioned way of, letting your friends, family, neighbors know about this, either through sharing on Facebook, just word of mouth, email. I'll probably send an email out so that you have this as an email attachment that you can forward to your friends, neighbors, family. So just ask you to help get the word out so that we can have a really good fundraiser for Cradle to Career. Thank you. And, if you want to take, I have a bunch of these on each table. So if you know people, especially if they aren't on Facebook or they don't do email, that you would just like to give one of these to them, feel free to take some. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's do that. Berlin has a question before you go.
Just a quick question. Could you say a few words of how the money is administered today. The program I was aware of was being handled by the United Way. Is that
Right,
still the
right,
case, and
right.
are they administering the money?
Yeah, you're correct that United Way is the fiscal host for Cradle to Career. This money specifically is going to go for the Education Summit. And the Education Summit is a community-wide event that is held every October. An all-day event that is free for anybody who is able to come to it. And they really provide a lot of education related to how we are doing in our community and how we could do even better as far as promoting education of all children from literally from cradle to career. So marvelous organization and yeah, but just to know that specifically this funding is going to go for that education summit for the community.
I was able to attend that summit this past year. It's very well done. With that in mind, when the summit comes around, we'll also be asking for volunteers from Rotary to help support the summit. There's a number of different tasks during the day that you could help out with. So keep that in mind as we go forward. The Rotary Club, all three Rotary clubs now are a member of the chamber. Just a reminder on a couple of upcoming events. Business After Hours is on February 20th at 4:30. The Women's Roundtable is February 21st. And the annual celebration is coming up on February 27th. If you go out to the Chamber of Commerce website, there's more details on those activities. So today, versus inviting someone to come up and do a presentation, it's my turn. And I have a presentation that I'm going to give. It's called the Club Assembly Report. And this is for the year 24-25. On behalf of all of you and of all the great things that you've accomplished over this past year, I spent this entire last week assembling this report. And in doing so, I was amazed at everything we've accomplished. You should all be extremely proud. So as we go on to slide 2, as you know, this year we're celebrating the magic of Rotary, and I hope this report will show you the magic that one club has produced, our club. Just think of the impact of over 45,000 clubs from more than 130 countries working to promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water and sanitation, save mothers and children, support education, grow local economies, and protecting the environment. So as you watch the presentation today, again, multiply that times 45,000, and I think that will set a strong impression on you. Our theme for the district this year is to make peace visible. Ashok and a number of you have been working very, very hard on this initiative. If we go to giving peace talks, developing peace projects, establishing various programs and activities. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Oops, sorry. And planning for an upcoming conference of the clubs, which is on the next slide. There we go. So the peace conference that the district is doing is at Mystic Lake on May 1st through the 3rd. And again, Ashok and other Rotarian colleagues have been working very, very hard to make this happen. There's also an e-club for world peace. And then we're working with the 3 clubs on fundraising, working with the Chamber of Commerce, mentoring next generation students and others across sectors, including health professionals, providing leadership development and an ecosystem for integrated and adaptive response, and first responder support, and for whole community resilience. So thanks to Ashok for everything that he's been doing and for any of the rest of you who are involved with those activities. So as you all know, this is our 100th anniversary year, and we have a committee that's working very aggressively to plan a celebration for our club on May 15th. A lot of hard work is taking place. As we go to the next one, each month, Lori Lukey, Marilyn Stewart, Sarah, and others have been working to provide us with historical information on our club. Lori captures that information in articles that are included for all of you in the Moccasin Flower, and she also provides that information to me to provide at club meetings. This was the first article discussing the launch of our club in May of 1925, and has our first president, Dr. Phil Sheridan. You can see a copy of the news article overlaid here from the Post Bulletin discussing our first meeting and our get-together. So I was able to start my Rotary year by attending the Rotary International Conference in Singapore. It was a trip of a lifetime to a city I might never have had the opportunity to visit. The convention was held at the Marina Bay Sands Convention Center, and my wife Cheryl and I not only enjoyed a fabulous convention, we were also able to take time to tour the city and all that it had to offer. If you ever have the opportunity to go to Singapore, I highly recommend it. A beautiful city. You've probably all heard that you're not even allowed to chew gum on the streets. Literally, you are not. You could be cited. And the entire time I spent there, you've got to imagine this, thinking about your own city. That entire week, I saw one piece of litter, and I walked around the entire city. It's incredibly clean. The subways are clean. It's just beautiful. So next. So the district has asked each of the clubs to work towards expanding their membership by 4% this year. I'm very happy to say that our club has already achieved and exceeded that, and we have additional members that will be joining in the next few months. So we met our district goals, but I had a goal of trying to move our membership to 100 members this year to go along with our 100th anniversary. So we still have a ways to go to meet that goal, but there's still time remaining. And I want to ask each of you to plan on asking someone you know this week to become a member of the club. So please take that to heart. Think about it as you're walking the streets over this week, and you're going to run into a friend and just ask them, are you interested in becoming a part of the Rotary Club of Rochester? As you can see, this year we welcome Stephanie, Ben, Cheryl, Warren, Randy, and Lauren to the club. We have additional members that we are planning on bringing to the club very soon. And as a matter of fact, I believe we haven't really had a chance to talk much, Brandy.
No.
But Brandy is interested in becoming a member of our club. And I think if it will work out at the next meeting, if you're in attendance, we will make that official. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Brandy Rowe. I am a youth career planner for workforce development, and I'm based at the Rochester ALC. I'm also part of the Young Professional Leadership Program, and just excited to join the Rotary Club of Rochester.
So if anybody has any questions about bringing Brandy in as a member, please let me know today. Otherwise, my intent is to bring her in as a member at our next meeting. I want to thank all of the members of the board who have worked hard on all the initiatives this year. Just going quickly down the list, the past president, Ashok Patel, president-elect Stephen Sperling, president-elect nominee Frank Allen, our club administrator, Cheriston Keeler, our treasurer, Frank Allen, our secretary, is that? Whatever. Joseph, our sergeant of arms, John Woodruff, membership, Audrey Betcher, communications and PR, Lori Lutke, engagement and fundraising, Sue Luby and Don Meyer, community service, Mark Dockery, international services, Judy O'Fallon, measurements, Stuart, and diversity and inclusion, both Stuart and Ashok. So thank you, and let's give those board members a big hand. So each month we've discussed the Rotary themes. As I indicated earlier, this month is peace building and conflict prevention. We've had a number of activities happening that are focused on that theme, and I'll highlight some of them later on in this presentation. One of the areas that I feel is an important aspect of Rotary is our service to our local community. We continue to do a great number of things and done them this year. And I've highlighted many of them, but please let me know if there are any other items that I may have missed, because I really want to have all of those tracked. So Joseph, John, and Ashok, and many others have done a great job maintaining White Oaks Park this year. I truly believe that it's one of the best kept parks in the city. I want to thank Tamsin and Maryland for continuing to organize the Jeremiah Cook for Kids program. A big thanks to all of you who have helped cook, provided plates and utensils, served, provided children activities, and helped cleaned up. This has been a tremendous activity, and if you haven't had the opportunity to attend one of these or help out, please do. It's a great experience. During Rochester Fest, our service activity was to help with the Rochester Fest beer tent and the information desk. Thanks to all of you who volunteered to help with those activities. Again, a great service to our community. And Rochester Fest was wonderful this year, Ashok. This year, we continued to help with the Salvation Army with their bell ringing fundraiser. Thanks to Mark Dripps for organizing this for all of us, and to all of you who volunteered to help this year. Since 2006, the Rotary Club of Rochester has raised more than $137,000 for the Salvation Army. That is great work. But again, thank you, Mark, and for all of you who helped out this year. We worked with Amanda Kinsey and Dave Gibson to help during the Community Impact Days in October. I know the people in the community were very happy with all of the help that was provided. The project kicked off at Family Service Rochester, where we broke up into teams to help with various projects. So another great assist to the community. Many of us helped out serving at the Quarry Hill Festival. By the time we finished this year, we ran out of everything. It was one of the busiest stations the entire day, and thanks to everyone who helped out with that project. Each month, we have continued with our Mapping Prejudice project. Audrey Betcher has kept this project on track, and thanks to everyone who has helped on this very important initiative. I think this is a great service to our community to get things right. Tamsin helped organize the Stop the Resource project. We partnered with ABC6 News and the United Way to help fill resource rooms at the local high schools to provide basic necessities to students in our community. Some of these kids don't have these basic hygiene products, and as a consequence, they may come to school not smelling right and get teased by other kids. Having this kind of resource room to help those individuals to take care of themselves, I think is extremely important, and these resource rooms in the high schools are used by students across our community. So it may sound like a small effort, but for those kids, it's huge. So thank you. Other projects that we helped add included the Cradle to Career Education Summit we talked about just recently, the Salvation Army Coat Drive, and the Strikeout Polio campaign. So thank you for all of those activities and for the volunteer support for those activities. So I'm very proud of our club's commitment to the Rotary International Foundation, Marjorie, and we talked about this earlier. Our club has 478 Paul Harris Fellows. I'm going to put a little more of a definition behind these because some of this is confusing. Not everybody understands what these different levels are. So I was asked to make sure I filled in. So Paul Harris Fellows are people who have either contributed to the foundation or have had $1,000 donated on their behalf. We also have 113 individuals who have multiple Paul Harrises. So a Paul Harris plus one has contributed $2,000, and that goes up in increments of $1,000 after that. We have 14 major donors in our club, and those are Rotarians who've contributed $10,000 or more. A benefactor level is achieved when you include the endowment fund as a best beneficiary of $1,000 or more in your estate, or when you donate $1,000 in one parcel or more to the fund outright. And we have 18 members that are at the benefactor level. As I indicated earlier, I believe our club has contributed over $1 million to the foundation. So this is something that we should be really proud of. During the 24-25 Rotary year, the following people achieved a Paul Harris Fellow or higher. So Liam Arroyo, not positive on the pronunciation, a Paul Harris Fellow, Gail Harris, a Paul Harris Fellow, Karen and Merlin Rickliff's Paul Harris Fellow +5, Charles Stedinger, a Paul Harris +6, Susan Hansen, a Paul Harris Fellow, John Better, a Paul Harris Fellow, Steve Sperling, a Paul Harris Fellow +3, Stuart, a Paul Harris Fellow, Ellen, a Paul Harris Fellow, George Allen, a Paul Harris Fellow Major Level 1, David Cheryl Mortel, a Paul Harris Fellow Major 1, and Phil and Catherine Carcel, a Major Level 4. More to that story, but that a level 4 is a significant contribution. So thanks to all of you who are continuing to contribute. I know that we have, actually, let me do this. Could I have a raise of hands for all of our Paul Harris Fellows or above in the club today? That's pretty, look around, Marjorie. This is, that's amazing. So thanks to all of you. So the fifth line of our 4-way test is it fun? Right. We've had a number of social activities this year, and I want to start with Tamsin, Heather, Vicky, and others who worked to organize a wonderful golf tournament at Willow Creek Golf Course. The event was a 4-person scramble, and it was followed by a happy hour hosted by Tamsin at her house. So thanks to everyone who helped organize or played in that event. It was a lot of fun. Then on December 19th, we had a 3-club holiday Christmas party at Summerby Golf Course in Byron. Thanks to Colin Aldis and Cheriston Keeler, who worked very hard on this party. We had over 80 people signed up for the event with representation from all 3 clubs. And I think everyone had a wonderful time. Now, I mentioned Cheriston here, but please realize I could have thanked her for every one of the events or projects that I've discussed thus far, whether it's adding it to the calendar, sending out emails, contacting local businesses, paying the bill. She's had her hand in almost every project, so thank you. Some of our other social activities included the all-service luncheon, the Rochester Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours, the new member get-together, the district governor's 3-club meeting, the monthly social gatherings at Twigs, and the 5th Thursday rotation days. I love interacting with this group, and please let me know if you have any additional ideas for social activities. I think it's just great to get together with all of our club members. This year, we've had a number of fundraising activities and district grants. One of the largest was the fundraising for our 100th anniversary project. We raised $10,000 towards a donation to the city for park benches surrounding the new Silver Lake splash pad. Thank you to our 100th anniversary planning team and all the Rotarians who donated to that project. Lori had a big hand in this particular effort, so thank you to her. It'll be a lasting tribute to our club on this celebratory year, and something that will benefit our children and families long in the future. And a permanent plaque will identify the club's gift at that location. We are also continuing to raise funds for our signature event for our anniversary this May. So far, we've raised an additional $4,200 towards the party history booklet, additional support for the community project as needed, and other activities supporting our 100th anniversary. So thanks to all of you who have donated towards that project. It's very important. The Statue for Equity grant was submitted for us by the Owatonna Rotary Club at the urging of Allie Good and Judy O'Fallon. The project goal is to purchase and install a base for a bronze statue recognizing and celebrating contributions of women in the Rochester community and inspiring future generations to commit themselves to lives of service. So a big thanks to Allie and Judy for all their work on this project. The water project in Tanzania was submitted by our club. This involved raising $20,000 for a vehicle for the Wine to Water team in Tanzania to allow them to get to rural locations. A total of $22,170 was actually raised for the project. And a big thanks to Audrey Betcher and all the others who worked on this project, a very important initiative for our club in the district.
Can I interrupt?
Absolutely you can, but you're going to have a microphone because we have people online and I want to make sure they hear you.
Not only did you raise 22,000, but the district foundation put in about, what was it, 9,000? You know, so that is what really makes the world go round, is that match. So thank you for bringing it forward, because if you've ever done a grant, it is a bit of work, but you guys have done a great job. So thank you.
So another way you can make those dollars multiply. So again, a big thanks to Audrey and all the others that have worked on that project. Our Happy Thoughts fundraiser has brought in $445 towards our goal of $1,000 to support the club and its activities. Keep up with all of your happy thoughts. To date, we have raised $1,850 towards our goal of $3,000 to support the Rochester Grants Committee. Every year we work with the other two clubs to support grant projects. This year, we are donating towards two projects. The first project is Crutches for Africa. We talked about that at a recent club meeting, and this is delivering mobility to those in greatest need. This project will collect 3,000 pieces of mobility equipment, such as crutches and wheelchairs and you name it, but you get the idea, to Africa for local distribution. The Stillwater Sunrise Group organized this activity and the collection of mobility equipment in local communities. Our distribution partner, Crutches for Africa, then has the local connections to support to import and distribute the devices in their country. So I haven't asked for all of you. One of the ways that we collect that material is to have barrels at various local businesses. We're going to be receiving 2 of those barrels. If you would volunteer to have one of those barrels at your business, let me know. We're looking for businesses that have sort of a high traffic of customers that come in and out that would see the notice and then potentially return with crutches or other items. I know I just looked in our basement and we have a couple of sets of crutches. One was for when one of our kids had a broken leg. They're too short for Cheryl and I, but there are other people in the world that could benefit from those. So when we do have our barrel, I will make one of the first donations. So please keep that in mind. So the second project then, this is new. So the reason you haven't heard about this is this was just approved this week. It's called the Seeds of Wisdom. It involves a grant of $11,200 for the construction of 16 school shelters for children in Uganda to help with the surge of refugees from the civil war in South Sudan. A very important project. This was just approved by our district grants committee this week. At our October meeting, we had a fundraising campaign that raised $300. That is accurate because there was somebody else who gave $100 in addition to what we had talked about. So if you're wondering, Dave, that's not right. It is right. Towards the Strikeout Polio campaign. These donations were, number one, $100 from our club. That was matched 1-to-1 for Paul Harris fellow points. And then $100 from each of 2 members, thank you, Ashak, was also matched 1-to-1. So that there are other members in our club that also donated to the Strikeout Polio campaign individually. I'm not aware of who those are, but I'm sure others participated as well. So thanks to everyone for your donations to that program. The Rochester Community, the Rotary Club of Rochester Community Foundation was the brainchild of a number of generous Rotarians from our club. The donations towards this foundation are now resulting in a significant contribution to our club every year. Earlier, I was talking to someone about Ryla, and this year the foundation is giving $1,500 towards Camp Ryla, $1,500 towards the youth exchange, $1,500 towards the ethics program, helping out with our office and administrative costs for $2,400, $1,000 for Strive, $250 for Cradle to Career, and then the $300 I think is to help cover our credit card expenses for the foundation. So again, this endowment continues to grow, and it will benefit our club from its yield annually. At a future meeting, we're going to devote an entire program to explain the foundation, how and why it was established, how the funds are invested, and the planned distribution plans as we move forward. So again, thank you to all of you who have contributed to our Rochester Community Foundation. It's a very important effort. Another emphasis of our club is to support mentoring and youth programs. This year we had Thea Grunwald from Denmark completing her year, and Luca Marie Elbach from Germany starting her exchange program. Our returning outbound student was John Keeler, and Emma Lang was our outbound student to Belgium. A big thanks to all of you who helped out as host families for these students, and a thanks to those families that are helping with our students abroad. Strive is a program for high school students who faced academic challenges but want to make the most of their last year of high school. Ellen Hayden, Suzanne Dennison, Cheryl Mortel represent our club on this project. And thanks to all of you who have volunteered as Strive mentors. Again, another very important project. The Rotary Young Professionals Leadership Development Series, thanks to Jamie, Celeste, Stewart, and Ashok, and the rest of the Rotary Leadership Development Team for your work on this program. I also want to thank the Rotarian mentors who volunteered to help with this program. Another very important effort. So our action priorities remained unchanged at this point. Goal 1 is to create an environment that facilitates fellowship, mentorship, and fun. Goal 2 is to support our community, to prioritize education programs for local volunteers and investment opportunities, mentoring and peer coaching. And goal 3 is to support Rotary International initiatives that promote sustainability and health. So an awful lot. If you look at the spectrum of all the service projects and large grant gifts and other youth programs and things that our club has been involved with, I think it's quite impressive. And we do that every single year. So I think this is an organization that you can be very proud to be a member of. And I've been very proud to have the opportunity to lead the club this year. So thank you. And do you have any questions?
Thanks, Dave, for a great overview. In looking forward, talking about STEAM for education, adding the arts and humanities. Do you want to make a comment about your debut with the Rotary song and how you integrated technology as well as the musical talent?
Warren and Don and I had a wonderful time putting that together. We're hoping to do more with that. We're actually hoping to perform at the last district conference, but they didn't get back to us. So Marjorie, you may want to take that to.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a tremendous song. Yeah. Maybe not. I'm going to be overseas, but yes, I think that would be for the district conference later on in the year. I think that would be great. But yes, we had a great time performing that for our Christmas party and putting it together. Sometime I think we're planning on trying to do an actual formal recording of it, a professional recording, so we can provide that to other clubs as well. Other questions or comments?
Great, because we could use it at the installation of the new district governor.
Exactly. We'd love to do it at whatever venue we could have. I'd love to perform that for the district in some fashion.
And it falls right into Willow's fun.
Yes, exactly. And it was fun, especially working with these two, Warren and Don. If you didn't know, Don had a background as more of a professional singer and has actually produced albums with his group. So having the opportunity to work with Don, and also Warren has produced an album. The album cover song is Chapters, and that's also the name of the album. If you have the chance, I would download that song, Chapters, from Apple iTunes or wherever you get your music. It's a wonderful song. I really enjoy it. I like that song.
No. No, that's not.
No, that's not the Rotarian song. That's his personal song that he wrote.
Thank you. As a fairly new Rotarian, there's a lot I don't know, and I know that Rotary is involved with clean water, polio eradication worldwide. What about funding immunizations for children worldwide, as we hear about our government cutting funding for AIDS programs? Does Rotary get involved with things like that? I assume it does. And do you know of any initiatives? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I don't know about medication and health worldwide.
Yeah, and that is one of the largest efforts that Rotary is behind, not only immunizing for polio, but for other diseases as well, malaria and measles. And we also work with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They have had over the last, 5 or 6 years, matched our the dollar 2 to 1. So they put in millions of dollars towards this effort as well. So yeah, it's an outstanding focus of our group. Smallpox has been eradicated worldwide. Polio is just a devastating disease, and we're down to 2 countries, and we've just got to erase it completely, and that will provide the world with a benefit that you just can't measure.
And if I may add just a little bit to that, Rotary also partners with the World Health Organization, UNESCO, even during COVID immunization period, Rotarians had a lot of infrastructure already on the ground worldwide, and so they even help with those COVID immunizations as well. So. Ebola,
And Ebola, there's a potential crisis occurring in Africa, and we want to make sure that the United States continues to provide funding towards those efforts. It's very important. I won't get into a political conversation, but yes, Rotary does an outstanding job. So with that, I want to thank everybody for coming today. We had a nice crowd today. I appreciate that. I know we have a number of snowbirds that are going to be returning, and hopefully with some warmer weather, we'll attract even more. I love this location. It's very conducive to our meetings. I'd like to get Rotarians from the other clubs to come and join us because they may find that this would be a location that they would like to use. I want to do whatever I can to support the VFW. It's a great organization. So with that, we'll close our meeting today. Thank you.